Imagine this. Our planet is bombarded with a staggering 173,000 terawatts of solar power every second. To put that in perspective, that's 10,000 times more energy than humanity currently consumes. The natural follow-up, could we one day rely entirely on solar energy to power our world? Before diving into that possibility, let's explore how solar panels actually turn sunlight into electricity. The science behind the spark. Solar panels are built from smaller building blocks known as solar cells. Most commonly, these cells are made from silicon, a semiconducting material and Earth's second most abundant element. Within each cell, crystalline silicon is pressed between two layers of conductive material. Each silicon atom is locked in place by 4 strong atomic bonds holding onto its electrons tightly, meaning under normal conditions no electric current flows. But here's where it gets clever. Solar cells use 2 types of silicon N-type, which has surplus electrons, and P-type, which contains holes, spaces waiting for electrons to fill them. At the boundary where these two meet, the p-n junction, electrons naturally drift across, creating an electric field. One side becomes positively charged, the other negative. And this invisible field? It's the silent architect behind the entire process. Enter the sun. Light from the sun is actually a stream of particles called photons. When a photon hits the solar cell with enough energy, it can knock an electron loose from a silicon atom, leaving behind a hole. The electric field at the junction then pushes the freed electron to the N side and the hole to the P side. The electrons get picked up by tiny metal contacts at the cell's surface and begin their journey through a circuit, doing useful work along the way, like lighting up a bulb, before looping back around. Each cell only generates about half a volt, but by linking multiple cells into modules, we amplify the power. A dozen cells can charge your phone. Several modules, they can energize your whole home. And since the only thing moving in this system is electrons, no gears, no combustion, no wear and tear, these cells can last decades with minimal degradation. So why aren't we there yet? If solar is so elegant and abundant, why isn't the whole world solar-powered already? Well, it's complicated. There are political hurdles, powerful lobbying from traditional energy industries, and major logistical challenges. Let's look at a few key obstacles. Inconsistency. Sunlight isn't evenly spread across Earth. Some regions bask in constant sunshine, others not so much. Plus, it disappears entirely at night, and cloudy days reduce output significantly. Storage and transmission. To rely solely on solar, we need advanced energy storage solutions and efficient systems to transport electricity from sunny regions to overcast or nighttime ones. Efficiency. Not all sunlight becomes electricity. If photons bounce off the panel or electrons recombine with holes before making it to the circuit, energy is lost. Even the best solar cells only convert 46% of sunlight into power, and commercial panels usually hover between 15 to 20%. Can it actually work? Surprisingly, yes. With current technology, we could power the entire world. We'd need major financial investment, vast infrastructure development, a significant land footprint. Estimates suggest tens to hundreds of thousands of square miles. But remember, the Sahara Desert alone spans over 3 million square miles. The land is there. And innovation is moving fast. Panels are getting cheaper, more efficient, and creative installations like floating solar farms are already reshaping the possibilities. The real-world impact. While developed countries debate logistics, over 1 billion people around the world still lack access to a stable electricity grid, particularly in sun-rich developing nations. For these communities, solar isn't a luxury, it's a life-saving solution, cheaper and safer than alternatives like kerosene. In sun-drenched areas, solar is already leading the energy revolution. In places like Finland or Seattle, however, we're not quite there yet, but that gap is closing. Final thought. The sun rains down more power in 1 hour than we use in a whole year. Harnessing even a fraction of that could reshape civilization. The question isn't can we, it's whether we'll have the vision, will and coordination to make it happen.